Riley, how do you keep this game smaller despite it being the biggest game of your career?
It's a good question. I don't know. Really, right now, nothing's changed from my schedule. Staying in the same place, go to practice, go to the football facility. Nothing really changes on as far as like my lifestyle and my daily schedule goes. So really, right now, there's no difference. I'm sure when we get to Atlanta, I'll have to do a good job of locking in and taking everything into consideration and just focusing on what's important. But right now, it's just like it's literally the same thing I've been doing the past 15 weeks. So it's not too bad, not too hard.
And Riley, you weren't a part of this game last year, but how has Coach Freeman sort of instituted the pain of that loss similar to kind of NIU this year?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really need to mention the Ohio State loss to give us any extra motivation because it's like the national championship. So like, if you're not motivated enough, like you're tripping. Like he doesn't really need to bring up their loss. I think they lost the past 2 years. He's playing it around the facility, so we understand the pain. But if you need any extra motivation for this game, there's something up with you. So, yeah.
Riley, when you came to Notre Dame, did you think this was possible? Well, obviously, that was the goal, but did you think this was attainable when you came to Notre Dame?
Yeah, I absolutely did, and I thought this would happen. That's why I came here. I remember, even my girlfriend, I was talking to her the other day, and a bunch of people were texting her, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys made it. This is crazy. And even she was like Riley, this isn't that surprising. Like, we expected this. It'd be one thing if, I don't know, I think people get surprised whenever things they don't expect happen in their lives, but when you expect it to happen, it's just like, yeah, we believed this for a long time. So, yeah, I definitely thought it would be happening.
What about after Northern Illinois? Did you think?
Yeah, after Illinois, yeah, that's when you start to think like, dang. At that point, it was like, shoot, we weren't even thinking about the playoffs at that point. So yeah, it kind of double paradox there. But after that game, it was like, shoot, forget being the best team in the country. You got to be the best team on the field every single week. So that was kind of the mindset after that game. But definitely, grand scheme of things, that's why I came here to compete in a national championship.
What makes Ohio State a difficult matchup?
I think they know who they are. They do a really good job at what they do. They'll get to the quarterback on defense, and they got speed in the back end, and they're a veteran team back there. So I don't really dive too much into their offense, but I know their defense is a really good unit.
Coach said that you guys probably wouldn't watch the game against Texas that day, but when you go back and look at that game, what did you see from them defensively? And then the second part of that question is, how has this team rallied around you as a leader?
Yeah, to go to the Texas question, we watched that a little bit individually, and one thing I saw from Ohio State was that, once again, their ability to get to the quarterback specifically on third down. So I got to really be good with my protection adjustments and knowing what I'm getting, make sure the O-line's sliding in the right direction. And they did a good job, just playing, good defense, one-on-one defense whenever they needed to in the back end. So, yeah, that was a couple pieces there. And then, how does the team respond to, me being a leader?
Well, how have they rallied around you?
How
much have gotten closer now that you
right.
At this point in the season, this is the end-all be-all?
Yeah, I think maybe that's a question you got to ask somebody else. I don't really know how to answer it too much, but I think maybe in the way that we play and the way that we respond, especially after a mistake by me, if you see the other guy's body language, it's probably pretty positive because we know how to respond at this point and fix our mistakes.
Will Howard talked today about your time as roommates at the Manning Passing Academy, and he said, both of you guys back then, you guys never really talked about something like this happening or envisioned something like this. So what was that experience like, and what's your relationship with him? Yeah,
at the time, we weren't really the big names at the camp. We were just two dudes hustling, trying to compete and make a name for ourselves, kind of. And it's really cool to, have those late night conversations with him just about life and, whatever. To see where we are now, it's really cool because he's a person I respect a lot, and obviously I always try to root for other quarterbacks in college, especially after I meet him at that camp, because you realize we're all just dudes, we're all just kids, just trying to play best for our teams and our university. So any chance I can to see how he's doing, I try to look.
Was he a good roommate? Did he,
Yeah, he was a good roommate. He was a good roommate, clean guy. We were only there for like 3 or 4 nights, so most of the guys are always just looking out for each other. You know, if one guy's going to get food, bring back food for the rest of the guys, stuff like that.
Riley, what is it about Marcus Freeman's leadership style and messaging that's resonated so much with this team this year?
Yeah, I always say this. I think he's just an extension of the team. He seems like a veteran teammate in my eyes. Like before we hit the field, whenever he's hyping the guys up, it feels like it's just a senior captain talking to you a little bit. And he does a really good job though of like balancing like the hierarchy of things. So he does understand that he has to carry himself as a head coach, and we obviously see him as our head coach, but we feel him in a different way. Like he really does a good job of resonating to us as players. And there's a lot of leadership styles about him. I think one thing in particular, if he doesn't have an opinion on something, he'll let us make the decision. And a lot of people are egotistical in this field, and I don't see him as a guy that has any type of ego. So it's cool.
Riley, if you guys do this, if you guys win this, what will that mean to you personally, and what do you feel like that'll mean for Notre Dame, which hasn't won it since 1988?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably whatever you expect. I don't know. I don't really know. Obviously, it'd mean the world to me. It's kind of something I've dreamed of my whole life. And to be at a school like this and be able to represent a school like this and lead them to a national championship so far, it's truly an honor and something that I don't take for granted. I take a lot of pride in wearing the blue and gold. And I know our fans for a very long time have been very loyal to this program through the ups and downs since 1988. So it'd be an honor to deliver them another one.
Riley, I'm not Marcus Freeman, but when I say there's no need to be nervous, it's a seven-point game, it's a fight. Does that kind of replay in your head, that halftime at Penn State? Yeah,
it absolutely does. I think, anytime I've been down throughout my career, I always do a good job of responding. So whenever he, says something like that, and you got nothing to lose, right? You've already made it so far. You can live with no regrets as long as you go out there and play your game, let the ball fly around. And I made some mistakes last game, but I never get mad at myself if I miss a throw. I get mad at myself if I miss a read and I'm off with my feet or I hesitate on a throw. The interceptions last week and the way we played in the first half, I was seeing the field great, just wasn't executing, but I knew at some point we'd get things turned around, so Coach Freeman's speech helps us out.
Jaden Greathouse came along at the perfect time. Explain his confidence. He basically said he woke up feeling like he would have that type of day.
Yeah, he's a very quarterback-friendly wide receiver. He never really says too much, but he's always going to be in the right spot when you need him to be. And everybody sees the highlighted plays, but the plays where nobody really sees are like the third down when I escape to my left. He just does a good job of feeling the hole and understanding, my scramble abilities, but also being able to find me whenever I'm outside the pocket. So there were a couple of third down conversions where I was able to find him that extended the drive. So he's a smart kid, smart player, and obviously when the time comes where he needs to make a play, he's going to make it.
All right, we're going to go to Zoom here for a second, okay? All right, Craig Stevenson, go ahead.
Hey, Craig Stevenson from AL.com from Mobile.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Yeah, if you could just talk about the journey coming from Fairhope. Didn't have a lot of big offers coming out during COVID and all that, and just kind of getting to this point where you're one game away from the national championship.
Yeah, I wasn't heavily recruited. Never took an official or unofficial visit to any school. Really only got the Duke offer because of David Morris in Mobile. Played for Coach Cutcliffe at Duke whenever he was at Ole Miss way back in the day with Eli Manning. So Coach Cut was really just doing him a favor and offering me, and I took full advantage of it. It's crazy to think where I am today because, I went 3-9 at Duke, wasn't heavily recruited. I think the one, group of people that did believe in me throughout my entire college career was Fairhope and all the families back home. And I think that's because they don't really see me as a quarterback. They kind of just see me as who I am as a person, and they're going to have my back no matter what. So it's crazy to think that we're here now, but I'm very grateful to be in these shoes and represent Fairhope, Alabama, where I come from.
Yeah, one more thing. Just your relationship with David, what it meant to you working with him. He's done a lot for a lot of quarterbacks over the years.
Yeah, I don't really see him as a coach or anything like that. I see him as a friend at this point, and he's always been there for me. I started seeing him in like 5th grade, and he always saw something in me that a lot of people didn't. He believed in me, and he's been there every step of the way for me. And anytime I'm down or up, he's always going to shoot me a text and remind me of the little things that are important in life, because I really see him as a good friend.
All right, next one. All right, Dennis Dodd, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, thanks, Riley, for doing this. Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports. I wonder if you could speak to the anxiety of transferring. I'm weaving Will Howard into this as well. Going to a new opportunity, a better opportunity, but at some level, do you think, boy, how is this going to go?
Yeah, it's a good question. I didn't like being in the transfer portal. It was a really weird feeling because I think of myself as a loyal person, but then there I am in the transfer portal, leaving my best friends at Duke. So I kind of just wanted to get out of it as soon as possible, and I was very quick to commit to Notre Dame because I knew it was a place for me. But yeah, you just got to trust beyond knowing. You don't really understand the magnitude of going to a big-time school until you kind of live in it. And I tried to prepare myself for every situation possible. But you just got to go through it to understand what it's like to play quarterback at a blue blood school. And obviously Duke was a great program and everything, but I think that there are just different expectations whenever you transfer to a big-time school like this. And I've learned a lot throughout the last year for sure.
And also, real quick, I wonder if I don't want to make this into a cliche, but I wonder if you thought about all the things that had to go right or did go right to get here. You lose a starting defensive lineman. I think in the first game against Indiana, you're down 10-0, and Jelly comes in, and it's a field goal, and that sparks everything. I watched Jaden's catch against Penn State, and he comes off the line, and the corner falls down like he's been tasered, and he didn't give him a move. And then he gives that safety a move that looked like a rec league basketball game head fake. Not to say you guys were fortunate, but just along the way, the things that had to happen for you guys to get here. Have you considered that?
Yeah, I try to think about that a lot. At the same time, I also try not to, because I guess like in any sporting event, you can look back and think, oh, if this would have happened or if that would have happened. But I truly think that, those things happen for a reason. I think, not only us, but Ohio State as well. I think we're the two main teams to just publicly display our faith the most. And I don't know if this is some divine teaching, who put us here, but I truly believe that Jesus, was looking over both of our shoulders throughout the whole season and put, these two teams on a pedestal for a reason.
Josh, how vital was it for you guys to get pressure with 4 this game?
It was big. I mean, it was definitely a slow start for us as a team. I think just coming in with the halftime adjustments, and like Coach Free said, being able to stop the run and run the ball, it's a big thing we take to heart.
And then what do you remember from last year's Ohio State game?
I mean, kind of same thing. Kind of started a little slow, but really, I mean, it's the national championship game, so it doesn't really matter who we played. So it just so happens to be Ohio State, so we'll be ready to go.
How fired are you up for this opportunity?
I think it's a huge opportunity. I mean, this is what you come to Notre Dame for, and it's been 2 years, so I think we're good and we're ready to go.
Take us through the journey. Obviously, you were hurt for a little bit. A lot of your teammates have been hurt. Can you believe you guys are actually in this position after all you've been through as a program?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what we said at the start of the season, we have a lot of depth, and it's really shown with all the injuries we've had. But it's a huge credit to Coach Landau and all the trainers being able to work with us and help us throughout all of these injuries. I think it's been a huge step forward for the program, being able to go in like after practices and go into the weight room and get like recovery as a unit, and it's really shown in the long run that we're good to go.
Joshua, do you remember where you were at the start of the season on the depth chart, and how much of it, being in this position now, how much is your work ethic a testimony to, being in this position?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I said, we have a lot of depth, so we been rotating quite a bit this season. I think it's been a huge help. I think everyone is a hard-working individual, and it really pushes each other to be great. And kind of like I said, just being able to work with one another, it's been really cool.
How have you been able to work with RJ and Bryce kind of at that end and being able to be those three guys to step up?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, RJ's brought in a lot. He's got a good knowledge of the game, experience, and it's been fun having Bryce as well. I mean, stepping in as a freshman, being able to help teach him and express the game to him, and just being able to see everyone succeed. It's been really cool.
What makes Ohio State's offense such a challenge?
They got a ton of great players, a ton of athletes. They're a really good team, and it's going to be a fun game.
You went up to Mitch Jeter after the game and told him how proud of him you were. I guess, how much has he meant to this program? Obviously, he plays a pivotal part in you guys' success this season.
Yeah, he's been a huge part. I mean, being able to see him during practices throughout the week, just being able to nail field goals no matter where he's at on the field, and then being able to see it in a game. I mean, being able to come up clutch in those clutch situations. It's been awesome to have someone like him around.
Let's do two more here if we got it.
Do you think this defense has learned about itself, especially being the first defense to play 3 games down 4 in the college football history?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what I keep saying, just like the depth, like you don't have to feel like you're the only guy that has to do it. Being able to rotate every possession, and just being able to have like the ability to know that your brother's going to go out there and give his all and come out with it. It's been huge.
If you guys win this, what will this mean to you, and what do you feel like it'll mean to Notre Dame?
It's going to mean a lot. I mean, we haven't won a national championship in quite some time now, and it's ready to put us back on the map and show that we're one of the top teams in college football.
When you look at the Ohio State offense, what really jumps out to you, and where do you feel like you guys are going to have to be most dialed in on Monday night?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what I said, they just got a ton of athletes everywhere. They got a good offensive line. They've battled through some injuries, but I mean, so have we. So it's just going to be a game that comes down to grit and who wants it.
Aneyas, what's this postseason run been like for you? Obviously, no one knows exactly when you're going to have the opportunity, and then you come out and you always seem to make a big play. What's it been like this postseason?
Yeah, it's been obviously it's been full of eventful. It's been an amazing freshman season. Set the bar really high my freshman year, but just the consistency throughout the season. Showing up for my coaches and just being a third down weapon, and then obviously just kind of growing my role throughout the playoffs, and just showing what all I can do.
How good is Jeremiah Love?
He's just. I mean, I don't think he's done growing yet, so set the bar pretty high.
Did you expect this type of playing time, and did you have these expectations coming into Notre Dame as a freshman?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't want to set the bar too low. I don't want to set it too high. Just coming in with a level head. Wherever this journey takes me, it takes me. But yeah, I definitely plan on expediting the process a little bit faster than most. Growing on this third down role, and I mean, I plan on obviously upping my role even more.
When your name was called early in the third quarter, that catch, does time kind of slow down as the ball is in the air for you to make that catch?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the time slowed down as soon as I ran the first part of the route. I was like, oh, I got him. And then obviously, the ball's up in the air. Then you just got to focus on making the catch and let the rest let it happen. But yeah.
What have you learned from the rest of the running backs room, and even Coach McCullough, as you sort of take advantage of this opportunity that you have even in those first couple of games when Jeremiah wasn't 100%?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just understanding the process. Watching and knowing that all these guys went through the same process as me. Obviously, I've played a good amount my freshman year, and just knowing that a guy like Jeremiah Love didn't even play a crazy amount his freshman year just really, it keeps you level-headed and humble, just to be in the position that you're in, and the amount of trust that you have in Coach D. It just lets you feel that you're at a good spot in your career, and obviously that's where you're not thinking about the transfer portal or none of that.
When you see Riley sacrifice his body for 2 yards, what does that kind of do for you and the rest of the guys?
I mean, just knowing that your quarterback has your back, has the team's back like that, I mean, it just pushes your team to a another level of, obviously one, respect for him, and then just knowing that even our quarterback has his body on the line for this team. There's not much that we wouldn't do for him, but just knowing he would do anything for us, that's what makes this team.
What's gone into kind of carving out the role that you have now? Kind of from the day you stepped on campus to now, what's gone into it, and what do you think you'll learn?
I would just say consistency, hard work, and trust have been like the biggest things that I've prided myself on. Consistently coming in, with the level head, ready to work mindset, and then consistently doing it at a high level throughout the year, in third down, stepping up, making the catches when needed, and then just trusting Coach D that he's going to put this group as he has and me in the right positions at the right time.
Do one more. We got one.
Why is Coach McCullough, might not be an easy coach to play for, but like what makes him, a running back's dream, so to speak?
I would say his experience and like the guys that he has to speak for. He's been in a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. And then the best part about him is who he is off the field as a coach, the relationship that you're going to build with him. I'd say the biggest thing for me was like outside of recruiting, our relationship was really good, and he was someone that I wanted to be around, let alone be coached by. So just knowing that he has the tools and skill set also to apply that to someone off the field, that I'm going to be able to build a relationship. And then the guys that he has, obviously we all have equal attributes and we just mesh well. So knowing that I get the coach and the players to surround myself with is huge.
Jaylen, where can the linebacker unit improve from the Orange Bowl?
We just really talked about being more violent, playing a little bit faster this game. Just learning from our mistakes that happened last game and playing better and coming out faster in the first half. Felt like we started a little slow in the first half last week. I think we want to start fast this week.
Jaylen, a lot of us are talking about the Christian Gray interception and the timing of it, but you caused an immense amount of pressure on Drew. You were a pivotal part of that. How do you, when you go back and look at that play, man, how excited, I see you smile, how excited are you about this?
After the play, I told Christian, you better thank me. I was joking though, but it was a great play by him, and just to know that I did it for my brothers and for my team, and we went out there and stopped them and were able to win the game. So it's really what it means to me, like just being able to win.
What's it mean to be in this game after all you guys have been through, from obviously the loss to all the players that have gone down?
It means a lot, like knowing that we were the embarrassment of college football at one point when we lost to NIU. And now we're coming back bigger, badder, stronger than ever. So we just can't wait for our opportunity to play.
What's it like playing with Jack Heiser and his leadership and just his ability? What's it like to have a teammate like Jack?
It's great. We say Jack talks a little bit too much sometimes, but he just always is ready to give his insight on something and give you like a better way to do something. He's always trying to find a better way, and like that's one of our things is find a better way to do something, and like that's one of the things that he's great at, I think, is finding a better way to do something. And he's great at like just teaching the young guys too as well. So yeah, I felt like he's just a great role model for like others and for the younger linebackers in our room that want to be captain someday. And yeah.
Have you heard from some of the guys that left Notre Dame last year, whether that's J.D. Bertrand, Cam Hart, on this historic run that you guys are going to make this season?
Yeah, I've talked to a couple of them. I talked to Maris and Foskey, Jason and Justin Amalola, and like they just told me to keep going. Avery Davis texted me too, so yeah, all of them are just telling me to keep going. Like you got one more to go. Just keep playing your heart out there and play for your team.
What was curious what your nickname was in the locker room after that big game?
They're definitely calling me one of one for sure. Reference to the Gunna album, but yeah, that was definitely what they was calling me.
How do you build on, that Penn State game and sort of the confidence that you have moving forward in the biggest game of the year?
Yeah, that game was definitely a confidence booster for sure, but, not trying to stay too high on that game and understanding the opponent that we have right now. And, we have a good opponent ahead of us, and we're in the preparation phase right now and fine-tuning everything. So, we're going to come out ready to fight.
What makes Ohio State such a dangerous opponent?
They definitely have a lot of talent on the roster for sure. They have a really good secondary, and their offense is stacked with full of players, and they're a really complete team. But so are we, and we have a lot of talent on our roster too. So it's definitely going to be a good game.
What can give you an edge in a game like this when they're a defense that has allowed the fewest touchdowns and fewest yards per game all season?
I really just think it comes down to our playmakers being playmakers. I believe in, this offense that we have. I believe in the coaches and the staff that we have and the positions that they put us in to succeed. And so they've been doing that all season, and I have no reason to doubt that they're not going to do it this next game.
Do you have thoughts of what took place last year here against Ohio State?
For me personally, just playing in that game, it definitely stings and lingers in my mind for sure. But as a team, I think we're going to go out there and just try to be the best version of ourselves. And we know that that's going to be what it's going to take to win the game. And that's what we plan to do. We're preparing for it. We're going to leave it all out there, and we're going to be the best team that we can.
Three college football playoff games. What do you think this receiver room has kind of proved? Obviously, both that touchdown against Georgia, your touchdown to your big game. What do you think this receiver room has kind of proved?
Kind of just that, we're really not to be messed with. I mean, we have playmakers, and whether everybody sees that or not, we don't really care. We're going to do what we do. I love those guys in the receiver room. I know what they can do, and any one of them on the field, I trust them, and I know that they're going to go make a play. So you got to watch out.
If you guys do this, you guys win this, what will that mean to you? What do you think that'll mean for all of Notre Dame?
I really just think it'll mean, what this team has kind of bought into all this season. Having to go to class with the first playoff game on the weekend. Fighting through all the adversity that we've had with the NIU loss. Just this team being a tough team, this team being together and built and having the chemistry that we have, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. And, this team has really bought into winning this entire thing. And so I know it would mean nothing more to me than the rest of the guys and just finishing it off.
All right, Jade, we're going to go to Zoom here for one, okay? Go ahead, Dennis Dodd.
Hey, Jaden, congratulations. When, going off that scoring pass against Penn State, when was the last time you were open like that? That's the longest pass play of the season.
Probably Louisville, I'd say. It was probably the last time I was open like that on my last touchdown. So hopefully I can get open like that again.
And I know after you caught the pass, you gave the safety a head fake and kind of broke his ankles. I noticed on film that the corner, I think he was playing press, he kind of fell down at the snap. Did you do anything there to make him go down?
Yeah, I'll definitely take the credit for him falling on that one. I'll give that one to myself.
Okay, those are two pretty good moves. How often do you practice that, or is that natural?
It's definitely something that I'm working on every day, through the off season, in season and practice, just working on different releases and that kind of thing. And, throughout the game, I was working on different releases and seeing what worked against them. And, I was able to take advantage.
All right, we're going to do one last one on Zoom, okay? All right, Kirk Bowles, go ahead.
Hey, Jaden, Kurt Bowles from the Houston Chronicle here. I was just curious if you could really kind of retrace your journey that brought you to Notre Dame, and were you secretly kind of hoping Texas would win, so y'all play them, get your home state guys?
I got a lot of former teammates on that team and a lot of friends and family that root for Texas, so I might have had a little sweet spot for them, but I'm excited we're playing Ohio State, and personally I can get my get back on them, but we're excited for this game.
And why you picked Notre Dame?
Really just for what Notre Dame is, the culture that it is, and the community behind it, just being a place that chooses hard every single day, and understanding that there's going to be adversity in our daily lives every single day, but we're going to be strong enough to battle through that, and we're going to handle all our responsibilities regardless. So that's why I really chose it.
Leonard, what's your excitement level to kind of test yourself against one of the best receiver groups in the country?
It's definitely exciting. I'm not necessarily motivated by who we're going against, but being in a national championship is an accomplishment of its own, so I'm excited to go out there and get after it.
When you look at the wide receiver room, Ohio State, two really good guys in Smith and Ibuka, so I guess how big of a challenge is this for you, and how really excited are you to kind of step up and play two guys like that?
Yeah, it's definitely a huge game, and obviously that's what you expect to be a challenge in your national championship game. So it's definitely going to be about trusting my technique and trusting what we've been doing all year. So yeah.
How much has all these games you've had the opportunity to play in gotten you ready as a freshman for this moment and this challenge?
It's definitely helped because obviously, you got to be mature, you got to be poised to be out there at cornerback, especially. So it's definitely helped me, obviously, being in big moments, being in moments where the season's on the line if you don't make a stop, stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be good going into this game.
Been named a freshman All-American Defensive Player of the Year as a freshman. What does that honor mean to you? And is it something you could have envisioned maybe 2 or 3 games into the season, considering you obviously didn't have that opportunity to be on the field as much early on in the year?
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing. I thank God, and it's an honor, especially. It's a testament to my teammates and my coaches and stuff for putting me in a position to succeed, to help me, and stuff like that week to week. But right now, I'm not worried about that. I'm trying to get a win on Monday.
Leonard, not to take anything away from you and what you're capable of, but how much has BMO been, just instrumental? If you graded on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you put his help, towards you off the field?
Yeah, he's huge. I can't give him nothing less than a 10, of course. But because he's just been a huge role model and a mentor for me through every week of the season. And obviously helped me know that no moment is too big. And I'm obviously a freshman, but never to give myself an excuse. I'm out there being a football player. I'm a guarding football player, so that's all it's been.
Go back to the USC game, obviously they kept trying Christian Gray, responsible for pick 6 against Penn State, against the interception, basically set you guys up for the game on the field goal. What's it like watching him make those kinds of plays when people keep trying?
Yeah, it's definitely huge, and I'm proud of him. Everybody's proud of him. It's exciting to see, and we know what Christian's built of. We know what he's made of. So when he go out there and make big plays in those big moments, it shows how clutch he is, and it shows that he'll always rise to the occasion.
What about the defense as a whole in terms of the turnovers? Obviously, you guys didn't win the battle this last game, but Christian gets the big one. How critical has that been to the success of this defense that you guys have figured out ways to get these turnovers?
Yeah, I think that obviously as a defense, you're not going to be perfect, but you're going out there to obviously stop them as many times as you can, and sometimes you are going to let up touchdowns. But obviously as a defense, and this just shows what we're made of as a defense and our leaders, it's a testament to them. But obviously being able to rise to the occasion in big moments and make stops when we need it the most.
What makes Coach Golden such a good defensive coordinator?
I think his aggressiveness and he's not playing not to lose. He's playing to win the game. He's playing to force turnovers. And obviously he's playing a lot of man coverage, which that helps us out for sure.
All right, we're going to do one on Zoom, okay? All right, Kirk Bowles, go ahead.
Yeah, Kurt Bowles from the Houston Chronicle. Leonard, is Ohio State seen as much man coverage in the tape that you've watched as much as y'all play?
Yeah, I think definitely a lot of teams have went to the zone mindset when playing them. I think Penn State played a decent amount of man because that's their identity. But I think that going into this game, we're not going to change who we are. We're going to play man coverage like we do every week. We're going to go out there and challenge the receivers.
And real quickly, the play Jaden Greathouse made against Penn State, has he ever juked you or any of your teammates like that in scrimmages?
I can't recall that. I'm not going to lie. I don't think he's ever juked me out like that. But that was definitely a crazy play. That was a huge play, and that just shows how good of a player he is, when it came to that big moment.
We got time for one more here if you guys got it. We're good.
Going back to that same building where you made your first start before, and
yeah.
What'd you think of that building? What's it going to be like to go back in there for the championship? And when you left, were you aware that the championship eventually would be back there?
Yeah, that's a great stadium to play in. Turf feels good. It's definitely gonna feel weird walking back into that same stadium, but playing a different team this time. But it's gonna be cool, especially. Obviously, that's where it started for me, and that's where it's going to end. Hopefully, with us hoisting the trophy. So.